All right, guys, we're going to go through questions 9, 10, and 11 on the study guide. So question number 9 is going to look something like this. Y equals negative x plus 2x plus 8. And it wants us to find the vertex, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept. Now, just to give a little bit of background, what this looks like is this. Our graph is going to look something like that. And let's talk about what these different points are. These points, where it crosses the x-axis, are our x-intercepts. And at these points, the y value is 0. Now, why does the y value equal 0? The y value measures how far up and down you are, and right along this line, right along the x-axis, our y value is 0. So this point is something comma 0, and this point is something comma 0. So what we can already do, and what I'd recommend you start with, is in your Desmos, as you're doing this study guide, for question 9, for the x-intercepts, actually for 9 and 10, for the x-intercepts, do something comma 0, something comma 0. We don't know what the x value is, but we do know the y value is 0. Now at the y-intercept, it's a little bit different. It's the x value that's 0, because the x value measures how far left and right you are, and right at this point, we're right on the line, so it's 0 comma something. So this is 0 comma something. Okay, so that actually gives us a pretty good start, and this applies to any question. Now let's get into the specifics of this question. Here we have this question in factored form. Now factored form, the thing that factored form is good for is it tells us what our x-intercepts are. So again, we're looking for where the y value, this is the x value, this is the y value, we're looking for the y value is 0. So where this y value is, we're looking for a value that makes this equal to 0. So I'm looking for something that I can replace this letter x with and this letter x with to get a 0. Now what number could I write in there? I can write in a negative 2 would make a 0. So in the x value, when I replace the x value with negative 2, the y value is 0. And when I replace the x value with negative 8, that's another way of making the y value 0. So my points here are negative 8 and negative 2. So those are my two intercepts. Now, if you're looking for just the short, simple way of doing it, here it is. See that positive 2? Make it a negative 2. See that positive 8? Make it a negative 8. And if you do that, it'll work for you every single time. So you're just flipping those signs to find the x-intercepts. Now, let's talk about the vertex. We haven't talked about the vertex yet, but the vertex is right in between those two x-intercepts. It's right there in between. So we're looking for a number that's in between negative 2 and negative 8. And so the way you find this is you add them up and you divide it by 2, and I've got negative 5. So my vertex is going to be, let me just erase all this. My vertex is going to be negative 5 comma something. Okay, so just as a recap, all we've done so far is positive 2 made it negative 2. Positive 8 made it negative 8. We found the value in between. In between 2 and 8 is 5, negative 5. Now we have to find the corresponding y value. Same thing for the vertex and the y-intercept. Now to do that, we're going to go over to Desmos Scientific. So if we go into Desmos Scientific, you can see I've already written the equation in here in Desmos Scientific, and I'm going to type in x equals negative 5. And when x is negative 5, oh, hang on a second. I think I did that wrong. Let me go back and I typed this in wrong. That should be, what do we got? Okay, x plus 2, x plus 8. So let me go fix that in my Desmos. X plus 2. There we go. Okay, so when x is negative 5, my y value is 9. The number on the top there is 9. So this is saying when I replace the x's with negative 5, then the equation gives me a 9. So I go back in here and I write in 9. All right, and then the y-intercept, let's plug in a 0. And when my x value is 0, my y value is -16. So if I go into here, I've got 0, -16. Okay, go ahead and practice this on Desmos. Let's give you a different one to practice, or let's practice this one. Go ahead and pause the video and let's practice a different one. Let's see. Let's try this one. Let's do -2 x minus 3 x minus 5. And you're finding the vertex, the y-intercept, the x-intercept. Okay, so pause this video, give it a try. All right, x-intercepts 3, 0, 5, 0. Again, all I'm doing is I'm flipping those numbers. The vertex is right in between 3 and 5. That's 4 comma something. Y-intercept is 0 comma something. I plug 4 in using Desmos, and that's going to give me +2. I plug 0 in using Desmos, and that's going to give me a -30. And then you graph it. When you graph it, you always start with the vertex. And here, I've got that -2. So if I graphed this, I'd start at +4, 2. So it's going to look something like this. And then that -2 means I go over 1, down 2. Over 1, down 2. So I do that, and if I do it, it should give me those x-intercepts. So that's a way of checking. If it does give me 3, 0, and if it does give you 5, 0, then that means you did it right. Okay, so go ahead and do a different one on the Desmos study guide and see how it works for you. Okay, let's talk about question number 10. Question number 10 looks like this. X plus 7 squared minus 9. Now, there is a trick on this one that's going to make your life a lot easier. What we're going to do is we are going to plot the vertex. The vertex, so we got our vertex, our y-intercept, and our x-intercept. Our vertex is going to be the opposite of this one, -7 and then -9. So we're going to plot that point, -7, -9. So it's going to be somewhere over here. And now, when you graph this on Desmos, it's a little bit harder to show you when I'm doing this by hand, but if you graph this on Desmos, we're going to go over 1, up 1. And if I do that, the program will automatically make this a nice parabola like that, and it will give you your x-intercepts. And so you just type them in based on what the graph does. And if you're lucky, it will give you the y-intercept. But if you're not, then know that this is 0, and then we're going to plug that in to Desmos and see what happens. So let's go over here to Desmos. This is our equation, and we're going to plug in x is equal to 0, and we get 40. And so our intercept here is at 40, and so 0 comma 40, and so it's going to hit right there at 40. Okay, let's do another one. So let's say you have -2 x minus 1 squared plus 2. So on this one, your vertex is going to be 1 comma 2. Again, it's the opposite of that sign and the same as that one. Your y-intercept is going to be 0 comma something. If you plug this into Desmos, what are you going to get? If you plug in 0, 0 minus 1 is -1. -1 squared is 1. -2, hang on a second. Do we get 0, 0? Maybe we do. And then when we, our x-intercepts, to get our x-intercepts, you're just going to graph this thing. You're going to start at 1 comma 2. And you're going to go over 1, down 2. That -2 means you go over 1, down 2. And that gives you the point 0, 0. It gives you that one. And then that'll give you those 2 x-intercepts. So for this one, it's a little bit harder to show you, but once you do it on the Desmos, you see what I'm talking about. You plot the vertex, and you look at this number. If it's -2, you go over 1, down 2. If this was like a +3, right, if this is a +3, then I would go from the vertex over 1, up 3, and then that would snap to that kind of a graph. Okay, last one we're going to talk about really quick is number 11. Number 11 looks like this. T squared plus 8t plus 13. On this one, you want to convert it into vertex form. So you're going to take half of that number, bring down the 13 minus that guy squared. That's going to give you t plus 4 squared minus 3. And that's going to give you a vertex of -4, -3. So when you graph this, you're going to find the point -4, -3. And then when you graph it on the program, you're going to go over 1, up 1. And when you do it, it'll automatically give you that beautiful parabola. And that's all you got to do. Don't have to do anything more. Let's do another example. Let's say it was like t squared minus 6t plus 8. Half of -6 is 3. Bring down the 8 minus that guy squared. Clean it up. We got t minus 3 squared minus 1. Your vertex is at 3, -1. And so you have to find the point. X is 3, -1. That's your point. And then over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. And you would end up getting that kind of thing. Okay, so practice this now on Desmos a few times until you're feeling comfortable. And good luck.